All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to continue on with our salon business or our business chapter. So, oh my goodness, sometimes I do the dumbest things. So then when I catch myself doing that really stupid thing, I'm just like, ugh. Okay, okay. So barbers, we are on 103B.8 on page 76. And Cosmos, we are on 6.4 on page 151. Those of you that have the Salon Fundamentals book, the ROPs, it may be a little bit of a different page, but we're doing salon ownership is the title of this chapter that we're doing. Okay, so who wants to own their own shop? Any hands going up? Who wants to own their own business? Okay. So, like I was saying before, you got to get the experience. You got to know what you're doing in order to own a shop. So let's say we're getting ready. We've got our license now. We're all going to pretend this is the best scenario in the perfect world, okay? We've all got our license. We're working at the most expensive and the most high-end and the best reputation place in town. And we're just like, okay, I know what I'm doing now. I'm ready to take my experience. I'm ready to take all of my stuff and move over to my own shop. So you gotta do this thing called a self-appraisal. So let me pull this up. Okay, everyone see that screen? Shake your heads if you can. Okay, tell me if it doesn't move because sometimes I get stuck. All right, so we're going to own our own. We're going to be our own owner. So we're going to self-appraise. In order to self-appraise, we have to look at our stuff and make sure that we have it all in a row. There we go. So do we recognize the hair, skin, nails, beard, waxing, makeup, whatever we're doing? Do we recognize the trends out there, and do we have the technical expertise that it takes to go out there and, open up our own shop? Can we communicate with the public in ordinary and in the difficult circumstances? Can we accept suggestions and criticism from clients, staff, anyone that's around us? Can we exert self-control? Can we manage financial operations of a shop or work with a professional bookkeeper or an accountant to create a budget that predicts income and expenses? Can we establish and adjust our pricing in accordance with local economic factors? Can we generate business through promotion? Can we organize a business plan into an executive summary? Do we have short-term goals? Do we have long-term goals? Do we know what the market's like in the area that we're in? Are we identifying clients' wants, needs, and buying habits? And there's a whole chapter on that. Do we have a financial projection? And just in case there is some type of, disaster that happened or something happened, do we have a plan to exit and still be okay? Right now, with COVID out there, there's a lot of businesses that are, probably never going to open up again. And that's super sad to me. And I just really hope that those people had a financial, something in place, because that just makes me sad. So can we exit gracefully? So before you go to rent a building or you go to ask a bank or financial institution for a loan, they're going to want you to do a financial statement. Okay, so what does a financial statement do? Well, you might not have all the money that you need to invest, so this is going to help you, get some money that you might need. So if you're going to a bank, they're going to want you to be a good risk before they give you money. Okay, this is where good credit comes in too if you're trying to get a loan. Good credit really helps a lot on this. So these are basic elements that are in a financial statement. They want your assets, they want your liabilities, and your net worth. So what is this? Well, you have assets. These are things that you own. Okay, what do you own outright? Your liability is all the money that you owe. And then your net worth is subtract assets from liabilities and you get a net worth. A lot of times if you go to even rent an apartment or buy a car or anything, they're going to use this little simple equation right here to help you figure out like how much money you can afford, or if the car payment's going to be more than you can afford. So there's a 20-year projection out here that a lot of people use. So what it is like year one year, like your year one, you're getting started. Within 2 to 5 years, you should be growing a pretty good client base. You should have a pretty steady client base. There shouldn't be too much downtime. You should be busy, from the time you open the door till you close at night with a good, growing your client base. 6 to 10 years, you might want to start expanding, getting more client base, expanding the business, getting more people to work there, things like that. And then in 11 to 20 years, this is where you want to start planning for your retirement. So this is where you might want to scale back a little bit. Hopefully you've made good investments along the way and you can start planning for your retirement. And then after 20 years, you might want to sell the business and retire, or pass it on to one of your children, but something, to retire after about 20 years. So as you can see, to own a place in the future, there's a few things that you got to work on, right? You got to build your credit, you got to build your clientele, you've got to save, get some money, get things set up. Your finances, personal finances should be all in order, because that's what's going to help them determine your net worth if they want to loan you money. And then what can you afford, right? That's the biggest thing. I don't know about you guys, but I always want something I can't afford. So if you're thinking about purchasing an existing shop instead of just opening a brand new one, if you're ever thinking about purchasing an existing one, arrange for inspections of the facility. Find out if the water lines are still good, or if the electrical is good, or something. You want to make sure that everything's in good working order. The employees that work there currently, are you going to come to an agreement with them, or are you going to just buy the shop and then one day you go in there and they all decide to go someplace else? So that's something that you might want to have a talk with all the employees there too. Schedule a financial audit. So basically with the owner, you want to see their books. You want to see what they're bringing in, what they do on a daily basis, monthly, weekly, whatever. But you want to see what kind of money that they're actually making and how much impact that would have on you if you bought that shop, if the employees left. Gain information about the existing clientele. What kind of people does that business do? What hours are they open? What type of service agreements that they have? Do they have a towel service? Do they have a laundry service? Do they have a representative that comes in and makes sure that all their products are, up to date and they always have products? Do they have those types of services? And then you want to make sure that you have agreements from that owner. Is that owner going to sell you the shop and then turn around and go next door and open up another one and be your competition? So you definitely want to find out, exactly what those plans are and kind of go from there. Owning a business, it's fun. I just rent my station. I'm an independent contractor, but it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. So now we're going to find out about what kind of business that you can have or that you're wanting to have. Okay, so these are some requirements here. Definitely location. Location is the most important part. If you don't have good street visual, if you don't have, good windows, if you're back in the corner somewhere, who's going to even know that you're there, right? So location is the most important part. Then how many barbershops or salons or nail shops or tanning salons or, anything, how many is in that area? Think about where you live and go within 2 or 3 shopping centers around the area where you live. Well, I'll use McHenry right here where we're at for an example. You know, we're here. If you go across the street where like the 99-cent store and the Dollar Tree are, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could think of 6 different types of shops right off the top of my head. Some are barber shops, some are like specialty, they only do certain things, some are full service, but I can think of those just within like a 1 or 2 block area right here. So what is that market need? Okay. And does that building need any improvements? Do you need to add plumbing, heating, lighting, air conditioning? And will it pass any of the inspections? Okay, so those are some of the things that we actually really want to look at when we're talking about where we're going to be at. Also with that market need, you might want to think about what that area is like and where you plan to see it within 10 years. You know, because sometimes neighborhoods, you know, they start out really nice and then they kind of go down a little bit and then they come back up again. So, you know, find out where you're at within that area there. Did we just kind of like skip a place here? Hold on, I may have skipped something. Probably did. Well, that's all they're giving us. Okay, so what type of shop do you want to own? Okay, we have a sole proprietorship. This is a business that is owned by one person. One person controls it. One person receives all the profits. One person is responsible for everything, all the bills, everything. This one person is responsible for it in a sole proprietorship. So, I mean, if something is, it's you, it's all you, exactly. That's all yours. The second one they have is a partnership. So a partnership is 2 or more people. All costs of opening and operating and maintaining the business are shared by these people that are in the partnership. It can be persons with different management or skills. But the thing with this is that you should have a written agreement. Don't do anything verbal. Everything should be in writing. Everything should be legal. And specify the rights and obligations of each partner in this. Be real clear on it, okay? If in an event that one partner decides to leave the partnership or sell their portion, can you buy them out? I mean, how is that going to work? Because both of you are in it together. Verbal agreements lead to misunderstandings. If it's all in writing, then you know that that's how it's going to be. But also now with the partnership, you're both equally responsible. Both of you are equally responsible. So if you're going to go into a business with someone, make sure that they, you do have everything written and there's no guessing anywhere. The third type of business is a corporation. This is a legal entity. It is separate from its shareholders, which are formed under legal guidelines. A corporation has a charter or articles of incorporation describing the purpose of the corporation and the structure of a company. So a corporation is actually owned by shareholders. Okay, so as you look at them, a lot of these are, what would a corporation be? LLCs. Oh my gosh, I cannot think off the top of my head what a corporation is right now. Target's a corporation. There we go, that was one. Probably Walmart too. They are definitely not, I can't think of any hair salons that would be a corporation off the top of my head. Most of them are franchises. And franchises are something that, what is it? It's a form of ownership, that you have an operating agreement. So what you find is that things are kind of like all the same. So let's use McDonald's as an example. You can go to any McDonald's in the world and pretty much find, French fries and a cheeseburger there. McDonald's are McDonald's, right? Taco Bell's Taco Bell, KFC's KFC, AM PM is an AM PM. You know what to expect when you go in there, right? They all kind of have the same stuff, like the little ices from AM PM or the little ice from Sonic. That's my favorite ice, by the way. So kind of know that what you're going to find when you go there, and that's it. You pay a fee to the franchise, and in agreement from you paying that fee, you're going to get to use the name. They could send you, like the soda machines. They're going to send you chairs and, decor and all that. And you just pay them a fee for that. And they want you to all be consistent with the things that you use. Now you can have a partnership, you can have a sole proprietorship, or you can have a corporation under a franchise. But a lot of places are franchises. Okay, so then we're going to be looking at all of these things. So once we find out if we're going to be a sole proprietorship, a partnership, a corporation, or a franchise, we analyze our market needs. We know that, this place on ABC 123 Street is going to work for us. Then we need to figure out how we're going to put all of this stuff together. So you may need to get some advice from some of these people. So the first one we have is an accountant. Now, unless you're really good with, math and bookkeeping and knowing how this works, you might want to seek an accountant. They are financial advisors. They can tell you what a bank is likely to lend you based on your net worth. They're not experts in the industry though, but they're usually paid if you keep them, on account on a monthly or quarterly basis. Their job while you're keeping them are to inform you about types of business ownerships, tax benefits and liabilities, evaluate a rental agreement for you, set up a basic bookkeeping system, record and prepare your taxes, and represent you if you're ever audited by a tax agency. And that's what an accountant will do. Then you're going to have to get an insurance agent. Your insurance agent is going to provide advice on insurance that you will need to safely open and operate a business. So what kind of insurance are you going to need? Well, you're going to need liability. If somebody slips and falls in your business, you're going to want to be covered. You might need some malpractice. You cut somebody, you might need some malpractice insurance for that. If you have employees, you will need workers' compensation. If your employee slips and falls, you're going to need a workers' compensation. You might even need insurance for products if you sell retail products. There's different types of insurance out there. How about fire? How about property and premise, theft? All these different insurances are out there that you might, think you need. And some of them you have to have by law. So that's where your insurance agent is going to come in. A lawyer, if you have a lawyer, they're going to advise you on legal obligations. Your rental agreements and maybe signing leases. Also, what your taxes will be. You might need a distributor or a sales consultant. Okay, a distributor, a sales consultant, they can be really beneficial to you. What they can do is, if you want to carry certain equipment or certain products, they could offer you financing. They can give you help with finding usually employees, because they know what's going on out there. Tell you when some education's coming out. Maybe they can even bring some stuff to you with education. There's a lot of advantages to having an actual rep itself. Can you think of anybody else you might need to have on your team or have on board for you? No, we actually have a SNAP guy. It's kind of funny, but we have this guy that comes into our shop about once a month. He's the snack man, and he brings in all kinds of like individually wrapped chips and candies and stuff like that. And he comes in about once a month, and that's where we usually end up buying snacks from. What are you doing over my head?
I'm waving at everybody.
Oh, I thought he was. I thought he was giving me like bunny ears.
My daily wave.
His wave. I thought he was doing bunny ears or something on the back of my head. We've been kind of, well, not fighting, but, you know, play fighting kind of all day. So I thought he was doing something to me. Okay, so how many people do you want to work for you? Are you renting stations? You know, are you a sole proprietor that rents out the stations? Are you a sole proprietor with employees? You know, what do you want to do? This is going to depend on the floor plan and the size of your space. Now, some estates are going to require minimum space. But you got to think about this. If you're standing there working behind the chair, how much space do you need? I think I need a little bit more space. So they're saying that if your building measures 20 foot by 50 foot, it is a total of 1,000 square feet. But there are some things that we have to have separate from our work area in our shop. We have to have a dispensary or a lab where we mix our colors and all that, separate from, you know, everything else. We have to have a restroom that is separate from everything else. And then we have to have the like a storeroom type thing that would be separate from, you know, everything else, and a reception area. And if you're offering shampoos and, you know, drying or blow drying or hair dryers, you'll have to have an area for that too. So how much space do you need per person? I kind of think I need like, which is way too much, but I kind of think I need like 10 feet. I could probably work better with 7 feet, you know, across 7 by 7, but I kind of think that I need more than that just for me, just for my little area that I work at. So think of how much space you're going to have and what you would like to have in your place. Okay. So if you go to borrow money, you've already done your liabilities, you've already done your assets, you already know your net worth. How much do you think it's going to take for you for 6 months of operation? And what are these things that you're going to have to think about? You're going to have to think about electricity. You're going to have to think about hot, you know, water. You're going to have and hot water. You're going to have to think about, you know, how much does it cost you a day to open that, unlock that door and open it in electricity and things like that? How about towels? How about supplies that you use during the day? Then you've got cleaning supplies. Then you have little things that a lot of people never really even think about, like toilet paper and paper towels and staples and, you know, phone, and what else could someone not think about? You know, waiting room chairs. I mean, there's a lot of little things out there. Soap, you know, dishwashing, you gotta use some type of soap, you know, not dishwashing soap, but like to wash your hands with, hand washing soap. Ugh, couldn't even say that. So all of these little things are some of the things that you're gonna have to think about. So how much is it gonna take you for that for 6 months? Do you have some of your own money to invest? And if you do have a loan, we wanna make sure that you always pay on time. If not, it's going to ruin your credit, and it's also going to get you in trouble because they charge you late fees, and it can put you in default, which, yeah, you don't want to be in default. Just pay. Okay. So now that you've got your money, you've got all your stuff together, you know where you want to open it. Now we're going to get this place rented. Okay, so you can have a lease. Leases can be for any amount of time. Usually it's 5 to 10 years. Oh, sorry. You're the leasee. they're the renter, and you're going to have an agreement, right? So that's where your lawyer comes in. You take it to the lawyer and you have them tell you if it's good or not. But there's different types of leases. Okay, you have a fixed rent or a fixed lease. This is what it is. It's like, you know, $800 a month, and it's always going to be $800 a month. Or you can have a variable rent. And there's a lot of complexes that have variable rents. So they're going to say, okay, you're paying me $800 a month rent, and I want a 2% of the total monthly income on top of that. That's variable. A lot of times they say that that variance in there is for building improvements, just different things like that, you know, maintenance, building maintenance, security guard payment. There's all kinds of stuff that they say that that could be for. So really make sure and be aware of what it is that you're getting into before you sign anything. Okay. So here's some other types of insurance. We have the malpractice, which we talked about, property or premise in case of fires, product liability. So product liability is one that I never would have thought of until, you know, I read something about it many years ago. But if I'm selling a product or if I'm not selling a product, if I'm using a product and, you know, someone has a really bad reaction to it and there's an injury or maybe a damage from it, or the client takes it home and they buy it from you and they have some type of injury to themselves from this product, what this product liability insurance is going to do is help cover you if they come back and try to sue you. So that is something that is a good thing to have and to ask about, even if you're going to be working with some of the, you know, stronger type products, or any products really, because anybody can be allergic to anything. Okay, unemployment insurance. If you have employees, you have to pay this. Okay, this offers, you know, compensation if you're laid off or displaced or you lose your job or something. That's required by the law. Workers' comp is required by the law. This is medical expenses. If your employee is injured at work, you pay this to the state, you have to pay it no matter what. Okay, taxes. So if you get a paycheck, you know, they always take taxes out of your paycheck, but the owner takes those taxes and pays them to the government. It's not like they keep that in your pocket. If you sell a product, you're going to collect the sales tax on that product and you're going to send it in to the government. And then at the end of the year, you're going to pay taxes on your business. Okay, so make sure that if you're the owner, you pay the taxes from the employee to the government. You pay your sales tax for your products and your services. If you charge tax, we don't charge tax on services. And any income tax on your business profits, you're going to have to pay. Because if you're an owner and they don't take it out of your check, right, you end up just paying the government for that. Okay, so you need to report all of your income, including your tips, all of your operating expenses, and then you have your profit and your loss. So they call these P&Ls, and what they want to see is any type of money that you take in, that's considered income. Okay, so operating expenses are the cost of running the shop. That's the electricity, that's the water, that's whatever else you have, paper towels and toilet paper and soap and all that, that's an operating expense. So when you take your income and you minus your operating expense, anything in a plus category is a profit. Anything in a negative category is a loss. Okay, so they have these agencies like the IRS. The CRA is Canadian. Oh my gosh, I totally went dead on what the IRS, Internal Revenue Service. Okay, oh, I totally forgot what that meant. And so the C one is Canadian, yeah, Canadian what? Canadian, I knew this at one time. I'll have to figure that one out. But we just deal with the IRS. Okay. So if you're an owner, you're responsible for reporting the employees' tips. How do we even know what employees get, right? They're supposed to report them to you, so that is your responsibility. And by law, all taxes and all records that you keep need to be kept for, it says 5 to 7 years. I keep mine for 10 just in case, but yeah, you have to keep them for at least 7 years. Everything will stay on your record for about 7 years, your tax record, that is. Okay. So when they break this all down, if you're an owner, what you pay your employees is compensation, including yourself, and all of your payroll taxes should be about 50%. Your rent should be 12%, your supplies should be 5%, your advertising 3, utilities 2, insurance at 1.5, and employee benefits at 1.5. And that's how they figure out like what your cost is on operating. So what is that? 50, 62, 67, 70, 72, so about 75%, right? So they're saying that 25% of that should be a profit. I don't know, a little bit more, because then we have maintenance, debt, depreciation, miscellaneous, percentage of total income, okay, 88%. So out of 100%, you got 88% that you're going to have to turn around and pay right back out. So that gives you what, 12% that you're going to make in a profit. So once you get all this together, you're going to have some policies and procedures. Anytime you work somewhere, there's always policies and procedures, right? These are a set of rules for the owner and for the staff, and this is what they're going to expect from you. So they should have a book for that. Okay, true or false? Understanding the inner workings of barbershops creates a foundation that allows both barber and barbershop owner to meet goals together. I think that's true. I do. The ability to recognize hair, skin, beard trends, and technical expertise is an essential skill for a successful barbershop or owner. I'm going to say yes too. A list of all the physical property owned and items payments are a list of all the physical property owned and items payments are received for are, that would be an asset. A list of all the money you owe is your liabilities. A business owned by one person is referred to as a sole proprietorship. And a business owned by its shareholders is a corporation. The most important factor in opening a business is location. A professional who can offer advice on the operating capital needed to open a barber shop is a accountant. And a set dollar amount paid each month to a leaser is known as a fixed rent. And all payments received from clients for services or products is income? I don't know. Let's find out. True, assets, liabilities, proprietorship, corporation, location. Oh, hey, I got them all right. All right, so here's what you should have got out of this. If you're gonna open a shop, you should assess your skills to pinpoint areas of weakness in order to hire employees that have those strengths. Prepare a professional financial statement, which includes a list of assets, liabilities, and net worth. The types of ownerships are sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation, and franchise. Requirements of to open is looking for the location, the market need, the cost of necessary improvements, and make sure that you're in compliance with all state and local laws. Get advice from an accountant, insurance agent, lawyer, and distributor sales consultant. Develop a floor plan for a proposed location before trying to determine any detail on cost of equipment or interior decorating. Before you borrow money, have an accountant advise you of the operating capital needed to open the barbershop and pay the expenses. Once you get a loan, you can enter into a lease. Okay. A large portion of the expenses is the rent, which are going to be fixed or variable. Types of insurance are malpractice, property, product liability, and employment and workers' compensation. The owner is responsible for withholding from an employee income for payment of certain taxes and for paying these withholdings to the government. The financial success of a shop means the shop's income is significantly greater than its operating expense, and a shop should have a professional philosophy or standard of ethics. Okay, boom. That one's done. Now, does everyone still want to have a shop for all that? A lot of work involved in that, but it's worth it. Okay, so your homework for today is, how much money do you think that you would need to have open a business today? If I was to walk up to you today and say, like, here you go, here's some money, open up a shop, how much do you think you would need? That's the question of the day, right? That's going to be part of your homework. How much money do you need to open up a business? And then what kind of business would you have? Well, a shop, right? That's what you would have. But what would you do in this shop? Okay. What type of services would you offer and how much would you charge for those services? Make a price list. And how much, so first of all, how much do you think it would cost for you to open up a business? And then second, make a menu of services. Okay, what your services are and how much would you charge for them? Because, I mean, I know not every single one of you is going to do like every single thing in a shop once you get your license and get out there, right? We're all not going to do, you know, makeup, and we're all not going to do waxing, and, you know, there's several different types of things that you can do out there. So what's your menu of services? What do you offer and how much do you charge for them? That's not too much, right? Menu of services. To write this down so I know what to give you guys credit for. Menu of services and cost to operate or to open a shop. Okay, so menu of services and how much do you think it would cost you to open a shop? Because I actually know someone who about 3 or 4 years ago, opened a shop up. Now, it was in the Bay Area, and it's really, really nice inside too. But she spent $80,000 to get this building and, you know, get it all furnished and get it all open and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, wow, it looks like it's $80,000. It's super nice in there, but that was a lot of money to me for that. So, or do you guys have any questions on this right here, what we're going to do? No. Okay, so from 2 to 4, we have yes, Brenda.
Sorry. So it's just a list, right? Can we type it out and like send it?
You can text it. Just text it into us at the 209-526-2040 number. You could write it, handwrite it, you could type it, you can color it, whatever you want to do. Just 209-526-2040. Just text it into us. Okay, so you know how we used to have the theory in the morning from like the 10 to 12, and then we had the other theory from 1 to 2, and then I had another theory from 2 to 4, so I was doing the same thing in the morning as I was doing in the afternoon. Well, for a little while now, the 10 to 12 one stopped, so we're just doing it from 2 to 4. So if you stay on, you can get the other hours of theory from 2 to 4 during the days. Instead of just the 1 hour now, you can get 3. So, and it's just going to be on Tuesdays and Wednesdays where we're live. Okay, all the other ones will be unlive. Unlive. That sounds weird. Unlive. Okay, so it's 1:55. So if you want to stay on, just go ahead and take a break. I will see you back here at 2 o'clock. Okay, unless there's any questions. Is there any more questions? No. Okay.